Renard. Renard.
Yo, what's going on with people, and welcome back to the Sn95 Power Channel. We back at it with some more stuff to do with these Mustangs, so let's get into it. So you've probably seen some of my past videos where I've changed the power steering rack bushings. I've tried a couple of different brands. The last set, energy suspension, is probably the hardest one I could find, and I'm still getting that feedback from the steering rack. Now, when we first got the new Edge, you could literally move the steering rack from side to side from underneath. That's how much play it had in it. So when I did change these steering rack bushings, it did help a little bit, but I'm still getting that. I'm still getting that feedback from the road. So here we go with these Maximum Motorsport aluminum steering bushings. It's not an intensive project, but you know, you do kind of have to cut a couple of things. So let me show you what's going on under here. So you are going to have to remove the steering column from the rack. Make sure you mark that before you take that off. Then outside of that, it's fairly simple. You can pull the rack out. You know, of course, remove the long bolt that goes through. And then you're gonna have to take these sleeves out. And the idea behind this is you're gonna actually just cut this part of the sleeve out and remove that feedback out of the power steering rack. So you just scribe it right at the face of it. Make sure the back side is pushed up of this rod. Make sure it's pushed up against the back side of the K-member. You remove it out and you cut it. All right, so this is the sleeve that they want you to pull out. You're gonna have to mark it and cut it. And so the short or the tapered end is gonna go back inside the rack, and that's no good. All right, got the other side cut, and per the instructions, you do not want to mix these two sides up. So I saw online people saying sometimes that the rack, after they put these bushings in, the rack was kind of interfering on the K-member. So I'm about to be proactive and just take my angle grinder and grind some of this down, just in case. So unfortunately, I did exactly what they tell you not to do, is not to cut this too short. Because mine's will pass all the way through. But to cure that, I'm just going to put a washer on the back side of it to take up the room. All right, so you've got a flat washer, and you have this like little concave little fitting that slides over that. And then you have this aluminum bushing. You can see it's concave, and I guess that's convex. And that just goes on the back right here. You do that on both sides, and then you just push everything in. The black ones go in the front. So my suggestion is get the back end first. Don't worry about trying to get the front bushing in. But when you do this, you really have to make sure, see, right now, I have a gap right there. And I think when I tighten everything up, that'll pull that gap in. But you just want to make sure that, like, this one is nice and flush. That one still kind of has like a little gap. So once you get everything tight, you just want to make sure that that convex and that concave surface is mated together. So I'm going to pull this in and see how everything lines up. I don't have an issue with the K-member and the lower steering rack touching, so I don't have to worry about that. So let's button it up. All right, so what is this mod gonna do for you? If you think it's going to change the way your car handles, it's not.
for me, and just getting off the expressway, doing a test ride, what it does, it takes out a lot of the road feeling out of my steering wheel. So the problem was with my rack being able to flex so much. Every bump, every unevenness in the road, all that was getting transferred to my steering wheel, and it really made it for an unpleasant ride, especially at high speeds. And I really didn't know how really the car handled or felt, because all the road noise was getting transferred through the steering wheel. So now, with that taken care of, like I just went on the expressway and went down the typical way I would go, where the road noise would be the worst. So normally, you know, the steering wheel would kind of, you know, almost, I'm over exaggerating, but you would feel the wheel doing that on every like nook and crevice in the road. But now, with those solid aluminum bushings, that's not being transferred to the steering wheel. So now I can feel that like my wheels are kind of out of balance. I got a little vibration coming from the front. So it's just little stuff like that that this mod would do for you. And it really makes the car fun to drive now. So for me, doing this mod was a necessity, because I'm getting ready to do this 11-second build on this car. And if I didn't do this mod, I don't know how this car would have acted. You know, of course, you know, you go to the track, that's one of like the safest places that you can drive your car fast, and you can guarantee that you're gonna have a smooth road. But still, you know, getting this car at 105 miles per hour or something like that, going down the track, you know, I want to be able to feel what the car is truly doing. And I think with the old front suspension, when I say suspension, I mean the bushing setup, I really didn't get a feel of what the car is really doing or how it really wanted to behave. And I think now this is a good starting point on doing other stuff, as far as alignment wise, balance, maybe going in, replacing some other bushings, control arm bushings and stuff like that. So I think this is a great start. I didn't have to do this on the red car because I never had that problem. But for whatever reason, you know, Project Kendra, it had this issue with the steering rack flexing. So if you have a Sn95 and you've done the balance, you know, struts up front, you've done everything you could up front, and you still get this like sensation out of the steering wheel, you might want to consider installing these aluminum bushings from Maximum Motorsport. Honestly, it took a little bit of 2 hours to do this. It's not really involved. The one thing I can say is cutting the sleeves for the K member. You know, I did cut one of them a little bit too short, so I had to use a washer on the back side of it to make up the difference. But that's really the only critical part of installing this. Everything else is just a typical bolt-on situation. So, hey, leave me a comment down below if you've installed these before, or if you did have some kind of vibration in your steering wheel, and you know you got an alignment and you got your wheels balanced, and that wasn't it, and you're able to fix it some other kind of way. Leave a comment down below and let us know. So, yeah, I appreciate y'all taking some time watching this video, and I appreciate you, and God bless.